It's full moon time. It's Gemini full moon time. And it's Gemini full moon with a lunar eclipse time. It is the kickoff of a season of eclipse energy. And whenever we have that eclipse energy, it always kind of squeezes out what we no longer need, and it makes room for what we are being brought, and it levels us up. So it's like a purge and an upgrade all in one. And with this Gemini full moon energy, what I'm being shown is that it's about you seeing, and therefore being able to show the world, but you seeing all the aspects and sides and facets of yourself, of your own, of the jewel of your own self. You being able to see all of those sides and angles and facets, because so much was peeled and stripped away with the Scorpio new moon. So much was revealed, and that was kind of like and then we've had some time to integrate, and now this Gemini full moon is about seeing yourself in all the different aspects of you, and seeing that your highest self, which is now being embodied into your physical self over this process, and it's happening, and it's going to be happening in a big way in 2021, throughout 2021. Many of us are going to come into tremendous embodiments of our highest self, which just basically means an upgrade of you. And in the process of doing that, we're being introduced to sides of ourselves we didn't even know, or that we were conditioned out of, because they were too much for humanness. They were too much for humanity. They were too much for society. Well, they're now being integrated in and unleashed. So that's going to be very transformative for ourselves, for our lives, and for the world. Okay? So we're now going to see what Spirit wants you to know, what your guides want you to know for these energies of this full moon in Gemini and this lunar eclipse. Okay? We're going to ask, what would you like for those synchronistically drawn to this reading to know? Well, first, Spirit wants you to know that you are protected above all. The Four of Wands is about this divine protection, because you are walking that path of being in alignment with your highest self, with your highest purpose, and with the divine. And inherent in that path is protection. Does protection mean that, nothing earthly or bad or difficult is ever going to happen to you? Doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that in the midst of everything earthly that you encounter, you will be able to tap in to that protection, to that guidance, and you will have that layer, that bubble of protection as you move through all of the possibilities that Spirit is opening up for you now. This Seven of Cups is about possibilities. It's about the doors being opened. It's about everything being laid before you that you could possibly want. This is the divine saying, okay, you now have a buffet of options. And again, this points to all of those aspects of you, all of those aspects of your higher self, all of those things that are now available to you because you're walking that path. It's going to look much different than the limited choices of the past. It's going to feel much different. You're just simply going to be moving through the world in a different way. Because this Ace of Pentacles is that new path, that new world, that new way you're living. It's going to be completely new, and it's very, very real. Pentacles is a whole new world. Whole new worldly beginning. And what's interesting, what we're going to feel into right now, and I do mean feel, is this Five of Cups, because this Five of Cups does talk about an energy of grieving. It talks about an energy of mourning. And I'm going to ask about that, because what we had right before that was, we had that Four of Wands, we had the Seven of Cups. Okay, So as you're moving into the choices, as you're moving into the, oh wow, I'm going to explore all the aspects of me and of my life, and I'm not going to allow myself to be held back. Okay, there's some worldly, earthly difficulty in that we're going to explore. But remember, it's all part of moving you into this new path. What I did get right before I started connecting with the cards for this message was a sense of spirit removing something from your life, from your life, because, they're showing, okay, so you know how the scaffolding is removed so that you can see the new work of art. So they're showing me that scaffolding. And you've been on that scaffolding for so long, with the divine creating that new Ace of Pentacles of you in your life, through you as the artist, you as the Michelangelo, through which this divine inspiration has been flowing, through which this expression of you has been flowing in little bits. Okay, now the divine for that Ace of Pentacles is ready to pull away the scaffolding, pull away the big sheet that's been covering up being able to see it all. It's been flowing through in little pieces. Now it's time to unveil it all. In 2021, it will definitely be time for that. With that unveiling does come some pain, because and some sadness, because maybe it was, it's got to be what Michelangelo felt, right? So he put all of that time, and it's interesting because Michelangelo's been coming through in a couple of the readings. He put all that time into what was being created through him by God, and this was a flow, a relationship between him and God. This creation, this process of creation. And many times no humans would get it. No humans would get it because it would just be between him and God. It was very intimate. It was very private. And it makes me want to cry tapping into this energy. But Michelangelo would spend a lot of time alone with spirit in this. Up on the ceiling. Up on the scaffolding. And then one day it was time for the unveiling. And it was time to give the art that the divine had created through him to the world. Yeah. That's the pain. It's time to give the you that has been created in these moments with you and the divine, as hard as it's been sometimes. Just like Michelangelo had some hard times up there where he was like, oh, my back hurts. I'm tired, I'm hungry, but I'm creating this, I'm pushing through. That's been your path with spirit. You focusing on you, your healing journey, your discovery with spirit. And now it's time to release yourself and your new incarnation coming out of that chrysalis that you've been in to the world. And with that comes some heaviness. With that comes some, but what if what's the world going to do with it? What's the world going to do with me? What's that going to be like? Is that going to be hard? We don't know. We don't know. And we have to go into this new beginning with that not knowing. And with that kind of holding of the breath that Michelangelo must have had when the doors opened to the chapel, and it was like, they're about to come in. They're about to see it. It's about to be given to the world. This is that moment with the Seven of Pentacles of, it's right about to be harvested. It's right about to be partaken of. What's that going to be like? Well, I just know it's going to be different. There might be a little worry. There might be a little anxiety. There might be a little, can I just go back? Can I go back to the scaffolding? Can I go back to the moments of being alone in creating with the divine? No, but you can honor that. You can be grateful for that. You can say, well, this Ace of Pentacles is what I've been praying for. I'm grateful. It's so beautiful. So now it's going to be a time of having reverence and of having gratitude. This Ace of Pentacles keeps on coming out 3 times. As the divine moves you into this, it's okay to be reflective. It's okay to be kind of bittersweet. Keep thinking of Michelangelo. I feel his presence having come through in this reading, and I thank you for that. Because you can connect with that sense of creation, that sense of, it's also like when there's a new baby and, oh, I've got to let this new baby go out into the world. I've got to let this new baby be exposed to the world. Yes, as you move forward in your soul path and your passion, yes, there will be that exposure to the elements, to the world. There will be those who just don't get it, and who maybe even, because of the state that the planet will be in, there may even be some sense of, some pain. This 3 of Swords coming out again. However, it's important to remember that you are being moved into the sun. The sun is everything abundant, it's everything joyful. Go back to that first card of the reading, the 4 of Wands, the protection, the being held up because you're walking that divine path. That's what's very important to remember during this time, during this coming out of the chrysalis, during this seeing all the precious angles and facets of you, that gem of you in alignment with your soul. Yes, the world's going to continue to bring opportunities for that 3 of Swords, for pain, for sadness. Yes, that will still be there. But remember that the way that it affects you will be different now because you're held up. That 4 of Wands is being held up. And remember this beautiful image that the divine has given us of the Sistine Chapel. The art is up on the ceiling. What could anybody do to it? How could the world even touch it? Maybe that's why God put it up there. Yes, it could be criticized. Yes, it could be, unappreciated. Yes, it could be taken for granted. But no one can really touch it. And you're going to be moving forward from that place. You are the magician. You are creating with the divine in that new higher incarnation of you, in all your many facets, with all your many tools that the divine has given you. This is a whole new world and a whole new beginning for you to explore. So while there may be some bittersweetness and some moments of I'm not so sure and I'm feeling sadness and can I go back, you're going to focus on, but what do I want to attract more of? Because you're in a very powerful place. Remember that, okay? So this is your guidance for these energies of the full moon and eclipse. I hope you will let me know how they resonate for you. And we will connect again very soon.